As Miss Turley said, I'm Nickie and my chapel is on things you can't buy in stores. I love animals. Anyone in my family can tell you that. So of course when I was younger, I wanted a pet. Before I was born, my family already had 2 dogs, so my mom and dad didn't really want another one. I started with a fish and my brother got one too. The fish were nice and lived for a very long time, but after a while, I began to beg my parents for a dog. Soon enough, my brother started asking for my parents for one too. There was this restaurant that my family loved, Cheeseburger, and right next to it was a pet store. Every time we ate there, we'd go to the pet store after. We would look at all the different puppies, then find one that we'd like, take it out, pet it, and play with it. Eventually, we'd have to leave, but it'd not be with a puppy. One day, we were driving and saw a different pet store. Of course, we had to go in. All the puppies were so cute, and my mom started asking the lady about them. My brother and I just looked at them and talked about how cute they were. We found this tan little puppy with dark tan ears that we just fell in love with. We took the puppy out and started petting it. We wanted to take her home. I guess my dad felt the same way because what none of us knew was that he was signing off on the puppy and she was going to be a new member in our family. My mom didn't know that my dad was doing this, and I'm not quite sure how my dad convinced her, but what I do know is that I came home one day after school on the bus, and the tan little puppy from the pet shop was waiting there with my mom and dad. I was so happy, but unfortunately a few weeks before, I got bitten on the knee by my neighbor's dog, so when our new puppy came into the house, I didn't want to be on the ground with her. To solve the problem, I jumped from chair to couch to chair, and then run back on the furniture once I hit the ground. After a while, I got on the ground with her and made up with our neighbor's dog. We named the puppy Bailey, and we still love her as much as the first day as we got her. I think the best way to describe how I feel about my dog is with this quote from Winnie the Pooh. As soon as I saw you, I knew an adventure was going to happen. This is my dog Bailey, all grown up. I learned many lessons from her, and I want to share one that I think is very important with you today. If you give love, you get love. I think Bailey knows that we love her, so if anyone in our family stubs their toe, she'll come over and give you a kiss. This lesson just doesn't apply to love. It applies to anything and everything. Some people call this karma. If you do something nice for someone, the universe will reward you and do something nice for you, whether it's a person doing something nice or you get a good grade on something that you didn't think you were going to do too well on. Even though you can buy a pet in the pet store, that doesn't mean that you are guaranteed happiness. Sometimes you can do something that will help you get happiness from a pet. For me, that was facing one of the biggest fears when I was in first grade, getting on the floor with a new puppy. You can't buy time and you can't buy health, but you can make yourself healthier, thus giving yourself more time. You can buy things that make you healthy, but if you don't stick with it, then you won't get healthy enough. These are the trainers at Powertrain. Powertrain is a personal or group workout gym where trainers work on individual needs to help them become stronger for a certain sport or for certain muscles. What I have learned from Powertrain is that you can do anything, but only if you want to and only if you try. At Powertrain, you might be doing a crunch while holding a weight, and you think that you can't do any more, but your trainer says you can, and it turns out you really can. A situation like this happened to me once. There was a trap bar on the floor with a weight on each side, and I was taking a drink of water, and Lou tells me to come over and try to lift it. I was perfectly fine where I was standing, drinking my water, so I said no, but he kept at it. He did this because he knew I could do it, and he wanted to show me that I could. Finally, I tried, and I thought the weight was going to be too much, but it wasn't. Right away, Lou came over and gave me a high five and said, "See, it wasn't that hard." At Powertrain, you will work hard, and you might be sore the next day, but it's all worth it because you are healthier and stronger. When I came to Powertrain for the first time, I was there because I hurt my ankle, again. I didn't want to go to therapy because I had tried therapy before and it didn't help. Tegan and her mom had suggested that we go to this place because Tegan had been there for a little while and she really liked it. I enjoyed Powertrain because you are working hard to make yourself better, but it's also fun. All the trainers were super nice and would always talk to you. The last time I visited Powertrain, I walked in with a drink from Starbucks in my hand. Lou teased me by asking if my Starbucks was for him. I laughed and said, "No, it's mine." Lou proceeded to ask why I came back in, and I told him I forgot my coat. I went and got it and then left. Back in the car, I told my mom what Lou had said, and she let out a little laugh. "He's so funny, isn't he?" she said. I said yes, and then realized why I was so sad about leaving for that last time. I've had so much fun, and all the trainers are like friends to me, plus I was stronger and healthier. Even though I have stopped Powertrain, what I got from it definitely could not have been bought in a store. I'm now healthier and I haven't hurt my ankles anymore. One word, happiness. I know for sure I haven't seen a box of happiness in the store recently. This is Joe, and he's my drum teacher. He has been my drum teacher for 3 years. Joe is very funny and every lesson is so much fun. He always makes me laugh, but he also makes sure we're getting the work done that we need to. Joe has been playing the drums for a very long time, but that doesn't mean he's stopped practicing. Playing the drums has taught me that you can't get distracted or sidetracked. This is very important because in a band, the drums keep the beat for each song, and if the drums mess up, that could possibly mess up the rest of the band members. Joe has taught me that if you can do anything once, you can do it again. Let's say if I'm practicing a pattern and I've played it 5 times, and I go to play it for the 6th time, and I mess up. Joe will say, if you can play it 5 times, you can play it 100 times. This just doesn't apply to practicing the drums or any instrument. This applies to anything. If you can't do something, try it, and then see if you can. Once you have, keep trying it, because you might find out that you really like it. When I started the drums, I wasn't on a drum set yet, and I was on a practice pad where I'd work on using the sticks and make sure my hands were in the right place. Other people who played the drums would tell me, I know it's boring, but once you get on the set, it will be so much fun. They were right, because it was a lot of fun on the set, but I wouldn't have been able to get there unless I started on the drum pad. Playing on the drum pad wasn't that much fun, but if I hadn't tried and if I hadn't kept with it, I would never have been able to play the drums the way I do now. I've been at Montgomery since I was 4, so over the years I've been with my class for a very long time and I've had many different friends. If you ask Google to define friends, many different definitions come up. The first one that comes up states that a friend is a person whom one knows and with one whom has a bond of mutual affection. Now this is a perfectly good definition, but I have one of my own that I like a little bit better. To me, a friend is someone who knows a lot about you, can relate to you, will always be there for you, and you'll do the same for them. The lessons I've learned from my friends, while all not valuable, are still very important. The biggest one I can think of is that we need to enjoy the times while they last. I've had so much fun with my friends over the years, and we have so many jokes. Every year in middle school, each grade takes a trip somewhere to learn about something. 6th grade goes to Echo Hill in Maryland, 7th grade goes to Florida, and 8th grade goes to Canada. Each trip is a different experience, and depending on how you look at it, the trip can be amazing or not so great. The trip itself is one thing, but also the people that you spend it with make the trip so much better. When I was in Echo Hill, we didn't have the perfect cabin, but the trip was still great, and now we laugh about how bad our cabin was. Florida was a lot of fun, and we definitely got some jokes out of the trip. I don't know what Canada is going to be like, but I have high hopes, and I'm sure we're going to be laughing every night. Now, like I said, these trips are great, but the people that you spend it with make it better. Since this is my last year at Montgomery, I'm trying to spend as much time with my friends as possible and make as many memories that I can. You can buy a lot of things, but I know you can't buy love, time and health, happiness, and you can definitely not buy friends. Now I'd like to end with 2 quotes. A friend is someone who knows a song in your heart and can sing it back to you when you have forgotten the words. And live life like SpongeBob, laugh out loud all day without any reason, and annoy all the mean people with your happiness. Thank you. Thank you and have a nice day.